Today I am doing a chart for Laurn Boebort, age 34, born December 15th, 1986 in Altamont Springs, Florida. I use a birth time of noon, as she's not exactly a well-known figure, and her birth time and her birth information wasn't all that readily available, which isn't all that uncommon when you consider that she's somebody that's been known to us not very long. Okay, and her star type is a rising, and how we see her rising is a Capricorn. So this woman was born to be in government, age 34 right now. She's an interesting character in that she has a GED, and you know, there's a part of me I want to tell you that I more or less respect her genius in some ways. She grew up in poverty, worked for McDonald's, started at age 15, and learned the business inside and out, and owns a restaurant, has owned a few restaurants actually. So this is somebody who really, in a lot of ways, through her own determination, has made some pretty big strides in her life. But in that, saying that, she's also somebody who is quite a self-saboteur. Okay. She owns a restaurant in Colorado called Shooter's Grill. And in 2017, she participated through her restaurant in the Garfield County Fair. And as of 2017, approximately 80 people fell ill to food poisoning due to some smoked pork. And that was then traced back to her Shooter's Grill restaurant. And this is actually how she came to be known, is that she raised such a fuss that she was on the news, and it ended up being Fox News, over what happened, and her rise went from here. Basically, you know, she got before the camera and started sharing with us some of her details, and we went from there. So, you know, and like I said, she's got some genius to her. I mean, I'm going to say that, but this is, I got to say, one of the more sad charts I've really done ever. And I've told my husband, it makes me sad to see someone with so much potential have so many problems. She has 4 sons, and she's had various problems with the law. Okay, she's had many petty offenses, and they've been dismissed, and she's very fortunate for that, because I would say that the fact that it's a repeated theme, in not only in her chart but in her life, she's very fortunate that this was let go. Okay, she has Sun square Jupiter. She's stubborn when it comes to her career choices and gets carried away with things. Her judgment is off, and it causes conflict with authorities. She has Sun conjunct Saturn. Is a bit sober in how she goes about things, but treats certain people with special regard. And I put in here in my notes, that is kind of the rise of Q, that, you know, she has put a focus on that and those people that I think led her to commit a crime, which is being discussed as we learn more, that she potentially led a group of people through the Capitol building before the actual January 6th insurrection. Now, you know, this is alleged, and this is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a lawyer. I do not have that level of understanding. I am only here as an artist, sharing with you the art of reading a natal chart. Okay, Sun conjunct Uranus. Unconventional, independent, different, original, hates being tied down, keeps options open, is eccentric and a nonconformist. Okay, these are her particulars, her aspects, and it just goes on and on. Moon, opposition, Mercury, arguments to anyone who challenges or upsets and challenges those she encounters. Okay, so there's a lot of There's a lot of energy here that is kind of revolutionary. She's got Moon square Mars, harsh, forceful, and in groups, and will lead. It will lead to a lack of support for her, as we move forward. I think that, had 45 won, she might have been his perfect choice, in that she would, fervently lead her people to wherever he told her to take them. So, that was something else. Okay, and then she's got Moon square Jupiter. Career path goes against tradition, okay? Overextending herself. It sets her in real danger. Her approach to problems could lead to trouble, okay? I mean, there's a theme here. It's a repeated theme. Moon opposition Saturn. Approaches to discipline and responsibility does not match others or tradition. So she goes out alone and thus is in trouble, okay? She may not have had the level of permission that she needed to go into the Capitol building and do what she did. She has Mercury square Mars. Her temper is sharp, her tongue is sharp, and as a result, she speaks before she thinks everything through. I mean, all of us can be guilty of this, but yes. She has Mercury square Jupiter. Forgets to think things through and takes the wrong course of action, and later regrets what happens. And so I'm going to just call this as I see it. I think that she's a self-saboteur, okay? And there's a lot of self-sabotage going on. She has Mercury conjunct Saturn, deliberate when concentrated, serious about her ideas. She has Venus conjunct Pluto. She's in love with energy and passion, and likes hidden areas of the mind and the psyche, and will be involved in anything that's transformative. And she will experience this type of thing all her life, because this woman is about transformation. She likes transformation. Okay, to her that looks beautiful. So I mean, she's quite driven. Okay, she's got Mars conjunct Jupiter. Driven, ambition, career, political. Her career is in politics right now, but my question is, will it last? She was quite well designed for a political career, but, you can't break the law. Mars square Saturn, waste wind, sailing into a wind, fighting authority. So in other words, she fights herself, okay? She gets these ideas that really go against what is traditional and normal, and then finds herself looking at why, and it's because she lacks discipline and training, and she resists information and avoids it. So she's somebody that 45's right, she knows it, and that's the end of the story. And because she's so definite that way, it's going to lead her to trouble. Okay, she has Saturn square Jupiter. Difficulties with authority and career will suffer due to this. Jupiter square Uranus, and this is where girlfriend problems really just sit hardcore. Career is smooth until questions of personal freedom arise, thus the tours of the Capitol. I didn't do it, okay? And she will deny, she will do everything in her power to state it's not me. But I can tell you her chart says otherwise. Sun conjunct Uranus, involved with the traditional, thus the politics, but with a twist as a revolutionary and original. Okay, so there's where we kind of get through the aspects, and she has a plenty of them, more than most, okay? And it is my impression, after looking at her chart, that she had a very difficult childhood. So how she gets from A to Z is going to be a bit of a hard go. She's kind of scurrying along the bottom, doing her best to survive and find her way forward, but she does have quite a revolutionary twist. Now, on her ascendant, February 11th, 2021, we will start to see a fallout, and she will need to turn inward to fix this mess. And I'm seeing 6 or 7 years of just really hardcore trouble for her. She might be, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a police officer. I'm not an FBI person. But I think if she took people on tours through the Capitol building, then she has some legal exposure that she probably just can't get around, if it's true. And again, for entertainment purposes only, I'm not somebody who has direct knowledge. I'm giving you the news as I have regurgitated it. And I apologize for the noise. My husband is fiddling around out there. Okay, so we have Jupiter square Pluto, January 29th, 2021. Things are exposed to people she would rather not have looking. So it's coming up that she is going to have some people asking some real serious questions about what may have gone on in the Capitol building. And March 23rd, her career and her appearances are in view, hardcore. By April 3rd, she is having major financial issues. So I think all of this is going to lead me to say one thing, that girlfriend is in trouble because she committed crimes. And with that, I am going to move the camera over, my new format being my little shelf, and you seeing the chart, and we shall begin. Okay, I am going to use the True Heart Tarot for the Tarot Scope. I'm going to go ahead and spread, and what we're just asking, we're going to go ahead and do her Tarot Scope. We're just asking for her general energy. What kind of things might we expect? I think that Laurn Boebort might be in a little bit of trouble. I think that any time you decide that you can take over the government, that you better be prepared for the realities that go with that. So we'll go ahead and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And I'm going to go ahead and put these back together. And I'm going to do this in kind of 3 sections so that I get the, so that you can actually see me and cards aren't falling all over the place. So 1, 2, and 3. All right. Foundation 4 discs. Okay, so something about money. All right, so I am going to move my camera over to the natal chart and we shall begin. Okay, so our foundation is the 4 of discs, and I'm just going to set that aside. Let's see if I can get that all in the camera for you so you can see it. And I'm going to just put this deck right here so you can see it. And I'm going to try to spread the cards a little bit better so you can actually see them. I know that for people who read tarot, and I know myself that I've really enjoyed over the 4 years that I really invested myself in this information, watching the readers put their cards down. So I imagine that that's an important aspect to people who want to learn. But anyway, I did a chart, and the chart before you is of Laurn Boebort, born December 15th, 1986. I use a birth time of 12 noon. Altamont Springs, Florida, and I chose that as the birth time, as it's just slicing it right down the middle. And this woman has, some high government energy, so I think that it's highly appropriate, actually. So I did her inner is her natal, her outer second is, or center I should say, is her transit, and her third outer is her progressed, okay? And where it starts out for her in the first house of soul, ruled by Mars, self-motivation, okay? And in her inner transit chart, she has Venus at 19 degrees, Pluto 24, and this would be in Capricorn, okay? And she gets death, okay? She basically participated in a process against the government of the United States, and her focus actually is Venus and Mars. And, you know, this is Venus and Mars kind of energy. The girl is in trouble. Someone's about to rip her guts open and look inside and take what she's worked hard for. And in that sense, I feel bad for her, because I think that what she did was impulsive. It wasn't thought out, and honestly, I after reading her chart, I'm honestly asking myself if her home life involved a lot of alcohol and that kind of thing, because there's just certainly markers in her chart everywhere for that particular energy. And so, I mean, my empathetic side, I feel like she made choices based upon the information she had. And, you know, I think that she's a rather brilliant woman. She's been able to make a lot of things work, but she made a very poor decision. Okay. In her second house, she has Saturn conjunct Sun, conjunct Jupiter. She wants objects or wants things. She is kind of self-centered, and that's in her, that would be in her transit at this time. And in her outer, that's in Taurus, and then she has the Sun and her North Node conjunct. Okay, and basically in her inner, she has Mercury at 23 degrees. In her natal, she's got Mercury, Jupiter, to expand in a warlike way in Aquarius. And so what does she get? She gets the Seven of Wands. She took action. She took action where others feared to tread, okay? And I'm not probably going to be able to do these as simply as I thought, because I just don't have the room. But anyway, so she took action. And basically decided that for her, she was going to come in where others feared to tread, and she was going to lead people through the Capitol building. And again, I want to say this is for entertainment purposes only. I am not trying to be contraire here. This woman committed a crime, and we all have to just kind of live with the consequences of it now. Okay, and in the third house, she has her North Node in Pisces in her natal chart, okay, and she has Neptune in Pisces in her center transit, she was the bullhorn of information. That's ruled by Mercury, okay, and she gets the Queen of Wands. She was all about it. She wanted to take action, and she took action. She took action whether it was the right thing to do or not. And of course her chart says that, you know, that's part of her energy. She'll take action and provide information before she thinks about it, okay? And again, I'm just going to say this is not to be judgmental. This is for entertainment purposes only, and I strongly feel sad for this woman, because what's coming for her is not pretty. In the fourth house of roots, okay, ruled by Moon, it's in Aries, that impulsiveness, act first, think later. She gets the Hierophant, where she went in, oh, my cards fell over. She went in and she basically took charge of the situation, regardless of whether she should or should not have, okay? And the Hierophant is going to be related to a 5. Our government at this time is in division, so I guess we could easily say that she took her position against the government and took the people that she felt comforted by and close to and led them through the Capitol building, okay? And in the fifth house, ruled by Sun, that is where the drama goes on. And she is kind of moody. She has Moon conjunct Chiron in Taurus in her natal. She has in her center or inner, she has Uranus conjunct Mars, a fight for freedom, okay, right now. That's what she's thinking she's doing. She's fighting for freedom. And in her outer, she has Saturn, her limitations, in the house of drama. And she gets the Prince of Swords. She took an action that was not terribly thought out. And now what is going to become of her? Well, I think that, you know, all the astrologists, and for good reasons, were talking about the conjunction of Uranus in Mars, and what might come of it. And I think we've all seen that what came of it was that a lot of people are going to have a lot of legal problems. Okay, and and Laurn Boebort included. Okay, in the sixth house of career and her relationships to career, she has a core wounding. She has Chiron in Taurus, but more importantly, she has Black Moon Lilith in Gemini. Now, as a student, and I'm going to just say this, we don't usually use Black Moon Lilith or Chiron. We're looking for repeated themes throughout the chart, and I feel like I have accomplished that well enough, handily. And so I am just kind of using these as additional explanations to perhaps some of her motivations, okay? And she shows a good deal of wounding in the sixth house, and that would relate to health, career, and her connections. Okay, in her middle, she's got her North Node and her Moon in Gemini. So, girlfriend has some things going on, and she's feeling some discomfort in the area of information. Things are coming for her, and she knows it, and she's feeling like she has nowhere to go. And what does she get? Well, quite appropriately, she gets the Justice card. And this is my Kamala Harris deck. I want you guys to know that I purchased this deck because Biden Harris, you know, the ticket, and I wanted cards that properly represented what I feel is coming, and this was a deck that I felt really spoke. And so I call this my Kamala Harris deck, and so you'll be seeing the True Heart Tarot a lot, because for a million reasons that maybe I'll share sometime in the future, or maybe I won't. I feel very connected to Kamala Harris, and I'm very glad she is our vice president. Okay, in the seventh house of partnerships, that's ruled by Venus. It is in Cancer. She has part of fortune. She's all about her connections that way, and she's quite physical, and she's quite emotional, and basically she gets the Three of Discs. You know, I would say that she has been quite successful in her way of partnering and bringing about money. But I would also say that that directly opposite of that is her Pluto and Venus, you know, where in Capricorn, where, you know, she was taking the cold-hearted story of the government and looking to make it beautiful, and called that good partnershiping. And I think her part of fortune is saying that she's going to have to go into some self-seeking in Cancer to see, really, was that such a good idea? And that's on her midheaven. I mean, you know, you can't make it up. It's, you know, the girl has trouble. And again, I'm going to say I'm actually feeling concerned for her. In her eighth house, she has her midheaven in Leo. Memories, her awareness. In her outer, she has Moon in Leo. You know, she's starting to have an uncomfortable feeling that things are not going exactly the way she wants. And here we have it, something new rising up out of the ashes, something fiery, and she has knowing, and she's aware, something in her knows this is coming. And she's, let's see where this goes. Is it us being the phoenix rising from the ashes and something new? Or is it her rising from the ashes and not having to suffer consequences? Well, her chart clearly shows she's going to go through a spell of 6 to 7 years of pain. And I would think that that's appropriate given what she just maybe participated in. Okay, in the ninth house of higher education, it kind of goes back to some of her past lives in her career, why she might be participating in this, and that is interesting because your ninth house To me, I'm all about the ninth house. I am a Sag rising. I got ninth house stellium. I'm Uranus conjunct Sun, so I feel like I know the ninth house fairly well. And one of the things that I kind of think about it is that I take counsel from aliens. I say that, and that probably sounds kind of ridiculous, but I swear at night I might. I'm not totally certain. I mean, I'm not going to say that I have 100% beat on that notion, but my stuff comes from somewhere, and it's generally dead on, and I've been this way my whole life. In fact, I used to think I was demon possessed because of it. So what does girlfriend get? Well, she gets the 7 of discs, okay? There is going to be some things. She's worked hard for where she's at in life, and she's been good at earning coin. But notice the head laying, on the ground, that the dark figure has, taken off a head. So, this is maybe a little bit of a troubled area for her. So, we shall see how this plays out. But I think she's in a little bit of trouble. Okay, and that's in the ninth house. That's going to be ruled by Jupiter. It's in Virgo, in the house of career. In the 10th house, ruled by Saturn, she's got Pluto conjunct Venus in her natal chart in Libra. Likes work, likes change. She forgets the red tape, and she's kind of a reaction response person, okay? And she gets the 8 of Wands. Divine discontent is coming for her, okay? Which I think that is some truth, and that's in her 10th house. I mean, I think that she is about to know that fairness has a purpose. In her outer, she has Uranus, okay? Again, that revolutionary. And she is going to find out what her limits are, okay? In the 11th house, she's kind of a detective, and she dreams and then rushes in where others fear to tread, and that's on her ascendant. She has Mercury conjunct Saturn in Scorpio in the house of unseen groups, and I think we can call this QAnon, okay? She got herself in there, and she got herself entrenched with it. She gets the Queen of Discs. It was because it benefited her financially. It benefited her. It benefited her business. It brought her notoriety and fame, and I think it's going to bring her notoriety and shame as well. So we shall see. In the unseen, and this is a stellium between the 11th and 12th house. It goes on. She's got Uranus conjunct Sun in Sagittarius, which is saying that I am fervently believing in this revolution. I have Sun conjunct Uranus, and so I know that it is one of those radical energies, that comes up in my natal chart. And, she's hard-nosed about it. And she has Neptune in Sagittarius, okay? She dreams of bringing about a revolution. She idealizes the unconventional psyche. And she gets the Ace of Discs. Yes, she was looking for a new kind of way forward for all of us, and how the cow munches the cabbage. Yes, she was looking to change relationships, take some charge of the situation, and now she's hung up. And it is going to lead to a different action. And she will soon be walking the tightrope, which I think is sad. She will suffer from heartbreak, okay? And basically she's done. We basically have witnessed, in my opinion, a person who had potential to do brilliant things, who chose instead to do something illegal. And with that, I thank you very much for joining myself here today. And please do join Pearl Rowland and I over on www.twiggie.com. And do hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And my husband has pointed out to me, and I will say my English is, I have always had trouble with English, and I do not know why. It's always been my hardest subject. So when I misspeak, I do apologize, but I have autistic spectrum disorder, and my English maybe more or less reflects that truth. But again, this is for entertainment purposes only. And please do hit the like, share, and subscribe, and thank you so much for joining me here today.